Ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Blessings and love to all. Well, I mean to most. Let's just say that. Again, as a reminder, get ready to go out and vote. You can do early voting. Vote, vote, vote. Your vote matters. If someone tells you it doesn't, then that really means it does. Come on now. Anyway, this is the Haves and Have-Nots, Season 6. Some of you will say Season 5, Episode 33, The Committee. Because we find out what we already know, that it's not just Charles who's in charge of this whole setup. There's also a committee of people running in the background that orchestrate this whole thing, even though that's how it usually is for elections. There's always a committee of some kind. Excuse me. So we're going to start things off with Jeffrey at the hospital. Remember, David was having pains in his chest, and I said, oh Lord, is he gonna have a stroke, a heart attack? So now we find out that David, it sounds like he had not like a full-scale heart attack, but a minor one, and he will be okay. So Madison's just trying to tell him and console him that it'll be all right. Let the doctors do what they need to do. Madison stays up there, and Justin and Jeffrey, they're downstairs. Justin's still being Justin. Jeffrey's over it, so he's just like, can you stop? Can you leave me alone? And so then that actually works for now, because we know how Justin is. He doesn't go too far. Let's skip over to something more interesting. Let's talk about Candice and Benny. Candice and Benny. Benny comes over, and Candice already knows that Benny decided not to give the money back to the criers. And Candice was like, yeah, why would you give the money back to a group of people, especially to the son that went and, hey, no, you don't need to remind me. So that's when we see that Benny was thinking what I was thinking, as far as him still holding a grudge. Fair enough. I mean, his mother's worked for the people that went and screwed over his family to a certain extent. But Candice has this plan. First off, Benny wanted to make sure it doesn't involve messing with Mama. And I thought, are they going to do forging? But that wouldn't make sense. But Candice is a lawyer. So she says, why don't we go down to the bank in the morning, because she has some stuff to do. So in the morning, she'll go down to the bank, and we're able to get a loan and put the loan against the account, which essentially means, here's my account, here's what's in the account. I'm not taking money out of the account. I'm getting this loan, and the account is collateral. Essentially meaning that, let's say we get a loan for a couple of $1 million. If we can't pay it off, they'll just take it from the account. And I said, wow, you can do that? I mean, tricks of the trade. I did not know that. So Benny, he's actually with it. Remember, Benny needs to pay back the Malones. He doesn't like the criers, so why wouldn't he be with them? I'm thinking, Benny, it's never that simple. This is your sister we're talking about. So now Candice, after she's done talking to Benny, she has to talk to Landon, because Landon comes in her room and she's like, wait a minute, dude, privacy much? He said, you don't have that anymore. And Candice is pissed because Landon's talking that big mess. Landon's talking as if he's a boss. And Candice was looking at him like, you're a chump. You're not a boss. Why are you talking as if you have control, you have clout, you have power? Remember, I'm the same person that had a guy come and scare you to the point of you pissing your pants. Candice said, well, what's the difference now? Landon told her the difference is, that was, mayor. That was Governor Landon. This is president. I am the liaison to the president. I'm his right-hand man. I'm not his vice president, but I'm his right-hand man. So I have a lot more clout and power that you could ever imagine and dream of. Here's the truth, Candice. Here's why you need to go and do this. You don't know this, but there was another girl before you. What? There was a bunch of women that were picked out by the committee. Yeah, the people who put Charles in power. Oh yeah, Charles did tell me. He did? Yeah, he did. Okay. The difference, though, Candice, is that the committee, that Charles wanted this other woman first. the committee did everything in their power to scrub her and make her look clean. She was nowhere near as bad as you, but she had her own demons. And here's what ended up happening. She eventually said no. We went through all that hassle. She eventually said no, and now she's and I'm like, what? She's what? Candice was saying the same thing. She's what? Well, she's not here now, is she? Which is Langdon's way of saying, do this because if you're not with him, you're against him. And if you're against the president, you're a liability. You're a liability. So that makes Candice rethink things. And even though she said the dress is ugly, I said that's not a flattering dress for her. It's not. It really isn't. Especially pink. We know Candice doesn't like those soft colors. But she has a lot to think about. So then she goes and talks to Charles. Obviously I'm just saying all of this in one grouping. She goes and talks to Charles, and they're in a public restaurant. Charles says she looks great. She says no, she doesn't. The dress is whatever. What matters is that Candice did what she was supposed to do, but she doesn't want to be there. And Charles all of a sudden now is like, well, you know, we're in front of people, you know, can you just sit down and continue? She was like, well, do I have a choice? He was like, oh, of course you have a choice. And then she said, is that what you also told the other girl? What do you mean? The other girl before me. I was like, I don't understand. So are you saying I can leave, Charles? He said, of course you can. Again, this is your choice. I'm not forcing you. I said, you're not forcing her? You're the same guy who told her, oh, this is what's going to happen. And yes, you will. Oh, don't worry. I get what I want in the end. To now, oh, this is your choice. Of course he used to say that because they're out in public. I'm sure all the people there are planted, but they can't have her causing a scene. So to her face, he's saying, yeah, you have a choice. I don't understand why you wouldn't have a choice. So then she decides, well, because she gets up and leaves. But then she comes back because, again, she's concerned. If I leave, what does that really mean? Like, what's going to happen to me? And he said, look, it's nothing bad. It's nothing terrible. There's nothing to worry about. So then she goes and leaves. I'm thinking, and he looked very disappointed and just tried to, you know, smile it off to the other people clearly watching him. My whole thing is, he can't be trusted. This is the same man who essentially had his cronies go and strong arm Candice, which Candice gets on my nerves, but I don't like that. I don't like the optics. It feels very weird. And I know why Tyler did this. He put that in there because he knew we would feel a certain way, even if we feel how we feel about Candice. We're definitely not going to be here for some man going and telling her, oh, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're not going to do, and you don't have a choice. I said, oh, is this some Me Too stuff? A man in power telling a woman that doesn't have that amount of power clout that this is what she's going to do, or his team strong arming her? Okay. Hannah and Derek. Hannah is so stressed out from all the foolishness that her daughter is doing, and with the criers, and with Benny. And so Derek says, why don't you go to the Bahamas with me? What? Yeah, let's go to the Bahamas. And she said, well, what would I do there? You know, drink margaritas and just bask in the sun all day? Yes. Yes. And eat and swim or look at the beach. She says, no, I can't do that. I don't have a job. I'll pay for it for you. And now, look, I think Derek's really one of those guys who I think he really is a good guy, but his past is going to come back to haunt him. I think that's the problem. We don't like when things seem too perfect, especially on this show. And I think Derek's one of those people where his past is going to come back to haunt him, and he's just trying to live in the moment now and trying to secure Hannah now. And Hannah doesn't want to go on vacation because she looked at the itinerary. Oh, so we'll be staying in one hotel room and it'll be a king-size bed. And so she's afraid they'll get some hanky-panky nookie in if she goes with him. He's like, well, I'll control myself. No, you won't. But then they start making out on the couch anyway. I always wanted Benny to come in and break it up. Well, let's talk about Wyatt, Catherine, and Jim. Wyatt comes down, well, Catherine's phone is ringing. Jim picks it up. Catherine takes it. And of course it's...
Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back.
Catherine's booty call, and he is saying, hey, you know, I want you to come to the hotel room. I want to show you something. She was like, what? Oh, okay. He said, so she's going to go in the morning. She's going to go in the morning and have fun. But at first I thought he was getting the room together. Maybe he wants to show her how clean it is. You never know with this show. Jim is mocking Catherine, saying, oh, I know it can't be someone special calling you and wanting something from you, because no one ever wants anything from you. No one calls you. And she was like, yeah, no one calls me. No one ever wants anything from me. Right. While she had a smile on her face while the phone was ringing. While she was on the call. And then Wyatt comes downstairs. He wants to leave. He wants to leave, and he actually calls the interim DA and tells George that I'm at my parents' house. Why? Because they're holding me against my will. Why? Because they said they got a court order to go and keep me under house arrest. How? I don't know how. That's why I need your help. I want to go and, give you my testimony. Well, give you my statement. Salson gave us that. Well, there's new information that I have that I want to disclose. Really? Yes. And I want to get it down on paper. Okay, I'll figure it out. So now Wyatt is meddling. Catherine and Jim are trying to figure out what are they going to do to deal with Wyatt. The FBI, I'm jumping around a little bit, well, a lot of it. The FBI raids the hitman. Remember the hitman that Veronica paid or was supposed to pay in order to kill her husband and his girlfriend, aka Erica, which I'm still trying to figure out when are they going to bring up Erica. But it's funny. It's really funny due to the fact that the feds raid his house. First, they send like a smoke bomb or 2 smoke bombs so that he goes running out of the house. Then they go in 2 seconds later. I'm thinking, wait a minute, why is this happening so quickly with the smoke? I was trying to look at them to make sure, wait, are they covering their faces? Are there masks? Anyway, we get to, he gets arrested, and in jail, the cops have him call Veronica to try and see if she'll admit to anything. But Veronica's smart. She's not going to go and admit anything on the phone. He's trying to say, oh, well, I need, I did what I did, and I need the payment, I need the, She's like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. And that's the angle she worked throughout the entire phone call, which caused her to hang up because she felt like, And that's where we see the feds were listening in, and the hitman didn't get paid by Veronica. For some reason, I thought he was paid. Or maybe I'm thinking of when she paid RK. But for some reason, I thought he went to her house and paid her, and she paid him. Unless maybe she gave him information. Maybe that's what she originally gave him. But I said, what type of hitman are you? At least half now, half later. She's good for it. Good for my butt. Give me the check. I want the check. Madison is still talking to Jeffrey about Justin, how he doesn't like that dude. There's something off with him, and Jeffrey needs to watch himself, and he deserves better. And again, saying all the same stuff that we're all saying, and Jeffrey's like, no, I can handle it. It's not an issue. Jeffrey was able to go and talk to the doctor, and the doctor told him what I already told you about what happened to his father. So now his father is fine. David's talking to Jeffrey, and David just wants the best for his son. But Jeffrey's going to go home and get some stuff for David and come back. And Madison is actually going to go with him. I said, what? Okay, if you like it. Madison's going to go with him because his shift is over. And it was funny banter back and forth. So then they get to the house, and I'm going to stop right there for them. Let's talk about, I talked about the call, David, the feds go to Veronica's house, and Veronica, actually, her mate, I don't like that word, I don't like the word housekeeper either. House cleaner? Is that any better? But you know what I'm talking about. She goes to the house, and well, she let the feds in. So when Veronica's walking downstairs, Veronica's looking. She just has this. But how? Smurf? What? Who are you? Who let you all in? And then they wanted to ask her questions. They wanted her to come down to the station. She asked, is she under arrest? They said no. She said, well, why would I go down to the station? Just come down to the station with us. Why would I go down to the station unless I am under arrest? What are you talking about? What's going on here? What am I being charged with? You're not being charged with anything. We would just like to ask you a couple of questions. Ask me a couple of questions regarding what? And why would you do that if I'm not under arrest or there are no formal charges? How about this? How about you get out of my house? He said, oh, so you're not going to come down? You're not going to ask? Why would I do? For what? And that's the only thing I can appreciate about Veronica. I like seeing the fact that she's just not she's a lawyer, so she actually knows her rights. She's not just going along to get along. She understands that I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. You're not going to make me. You're not going to force me. But now Jeffrey and Madison are at David's house, and of course Madison's looking at the house like, wow, beautiful house. Now when they go upstairs, there was a weird moment that I didn't understand. Jeffrey, he saw, I don't know if it was maybe Erica's purse or his mother's, but there was something about the purse and something in it that he took, but then he didn't really explain what that was about. He played it off. But Jeffrey saying that he actually had a crush on Madison in school, and that's actually why he started to get teased in school, because I think he might have been defending Madison or something like that. And Madison was like, he was fat, or he was at least out of shape, and so he was just surprised that was the case. It was like, why didn't you say anything? It's like, well, we were young, and it wasn't the type of thing where you're just going to run and say, oh, I like you, oh, I like you, oh, we're the same sex. No. So then they talk a little bit more, and then at some point they start kissing, and I said, now there's too much time left for the show to be ending like this. And that's where you see walk. Veronica, look of disappointment, empty inside, just dead, hurt, ashamed, embarrassed, hopeless. All of that was on her face when she was looking at her son kiss another man again. Again. Did anyone else notice that have we seen him interact with anyone anyone aside from his parents that were black in a somewhat sexual way? I know that was random, but it's just, aside from Melissa. Oh Lord, speaking of Melissa, unless maybe he saw something of Melissa's, maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure, but that was it. If there's anything else I missed, it didn't matter that much to me. Let me know what you think. The season finale is next week, so go and support that. Please go, if you're interested at all in Love and Hip Hop, please watch my recap of that, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. The season finale is next week as well. Remember to go out and vote. Remember that I also do Empire and Star. So those reviews will be out tomorrow morning / evening, as well as American Horror Story and Greenleaf. So that's it, guys. Thank you. Come back next week.
Remember to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe and come back.